Tom Hanks. The name that feels like trust, the face that defined comfort, the voice that carried some of the most unforgettable stories ever told. But what if the man the world sees as Hollywood's most genuine figure has lived through moments so quietly painful, so deeply human, they reshape everything you thought you knew? Because this is not just a story of success. This is a story of resilience, of navigating uncertainty, of carrying invisible weight. While the world celebrates your smile, born in Concord, California, into a family that would soon become fragmented, his childhood was marked by constant movement, instability, and separation. His parents divorced when he was young, and from that point forward, his life became a series of transitions, moving from one home to another, never fully rooted, never fully settled. And that sense of instability created something within him, a need for connection, a desire to understand people, a quiet awareness of how quickly life can change. And those early experiences shaped the empathy that would later define his performances. But they also left behind a sense of distance, a feeling of always adapting, always adjusting, always trying to find where he truly belonged. As he grew older, he discovered acting not as a path to fame, but as a form of escape, a way to step into stories that offered structure, meaning, and clarity, something his early life often lacked. Studying theater and taking on small roles, he began to build a foundation, slowly carving out a place for himself in an industry that offers little certainty. His early career was filled with modest successes, television appearances, and roles that hinted at his potential, but did not yet reveal the full scope of his ability until films like Splash and Big brought him into the spotlight, showcasing a unique combination of humor, vulnerability, and authenticity that resonated with audiences in a way that felt genuine and rare. But even as his career began to rise, the pressure followed, because success in Hollywood is not just about reaching a certain level, it is about sustaining it, about proving again and again that you belong, that your presence is not temporary, that your talent is not accidental. And as he transitioned into more dramatic roles with films like Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, he achieved a level of acclaim that few actors ever reach, winning back-to-back Academy Awards and solidifying his place as one of the most respected figures in the industry. Yet, behind that success, there was a deeper reality, one that often goes unnoticed, because while the world saw a man who seemed effortlessly likable, consistently successful, and universally admired, there were personal challenges, moments of doubt, and experiences that tested his resilience in ways that were not always visible to the public. His first marriage ended in divorce, a period that brought emotional strain and forced him to confront the complexities of balancing personal life with a demanding career. And while he later found stability in his marriage to Rita Wilson, the journey to that stability was not without its difficulties. And then came moments that reminded him of the unpredictability of life experiences, that no amount of success can shield you from, including health challenges such as his diagnosis with type 2 diabetes, a condition that requires constant management and serves as a daily reminder of vulnerability. And perhaps one of the most globally shared experiences came when he and his wife contracted COVID-19 early in the pandemic, becoming some of the first high-profile figures to publicly share their diagnosis, a moment that brought concern, uncertainty, and a deeper awareness of how quickly circumstances can change, regardless of status or success. And while they recovered the experience, added another layer to his understanding of life's fragility. And as the years continued, his career expanded into iconic roles that defined generations. Films like Saving Private Ryan and Cast Away showcased not just his talent, but his willingness to push himself physically and emotionally to bring authenticity to every character. Yet that level of dedication comes with its own cost, because fully immersing yourself in a role means stepping into emotional spaces that can be difficult to leave behind. It means carrying pieces of those stories with you, even after the cameras stop rolling. And at 69, the reflection on his life carries a deeper emotional weight, because it is no longer just about the achievements, the awards, the recognition. It is about the journey, the moments that shaped him, the challenges that tested him, the quiet resilience required to maintain not just a career, but a sense of self in an environment that constantly demands more. And perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of his story is not a single event, but the accumulation of these experiences, the childhood instability, the pressure of sustained success, the personal challenges, the health concerns, the constant expectation to be the figure the world believes him to be. And yet through it all, he has maintained a sense of authenticity, a commitment to kindness, a presence that continues to resonate with audiences across generations. And that is what makes his story so powerful and so deeply human, because it reminds us that even those who seem to embody stability and warmth have faced moments of uncertainty, have carried burdens that are not always visible, have navigated a path that required strength beyond what the world sees. And as he continues to create, to inspire, to tell stories that connect people across cultures and generations, there is a quiet understanding that his journey is far from over, that there are still chapters to be written, still lessons to be learned, still moments of reflection that add depth to a life already rich with experience. And that is where the true emotion lies, not in what the world celebrates, but in what it often overlooks: the resilience, the adaptability, the quiet strength required to keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. And in that truth lies both the inspiration and the heartbreak of a life lived in the spotlight, a life that has given so much to the world, while quietly navigating the complexities that come with it. The reality of a life lived in constant motion begins to settle into something quieter, something more reflective, where the noise of achievement fades, and what remains is the deeper understanding of everything it took to sustain it. Because behind the steady presence, the reassuring voice, and the consistent success, there exists a man who has spent decades navigating expectations, not just from the industry, but from the world itself. A world that has come to see him as a symbol of reliability, of warmth, of unwavering stability. And while that image has brought admiration, it has also created a silent pressure. The need to always be that person, to always meet the standard that others have placed upon him. And in those moments away from the spotlight, there is a different kind of conversation. One that is not about roles or recognition, but about identity, about what it means to be human, beyond the image that has been carefully built over time. Because the truth is, even the most admired figures experience doubt. They question, they reflect, they revisit the moments that shaped them and consider the paths they have taken and the ones they left behind. And as the years move forward, there is a growing awareness that time is not just something to measure success, but something to understand it, to give context to the journey, to recognize that every challenge, Every setback, every moment of uncertainty contributed to the person he has become. And that realization carries both weight and clarity, because it brings a deeper appreciation for the present, for the relationships that matter, for the experiences that cannot be recreated, and for the quiet moments that once felt insignificant, but now hold meaning beyond words. And in that space, there is a shift from performance to presence, from proving to simply being, from striving to understanding. And yet, even in that transition, the past remains a part of him, not as a burden, but as a foundation, something that informs his perspective, shapes his choices, and reminds him of the resilience that carried him through moments that could have gone differently. And that is where the continuation of his story finds its depth, not in grand gestures or defining events, but in the subtle evolution of a life that continues to grow, to adapt, to find meaning in new ways, and to embrace the reality that even at this stage, there is still more to discover, more to experience, more to understand. And in that ongoing journey, there is a quiet strength, one that does not seek attention, but exists in the willingness to keep moving forward, to keep learning, to keep finding purpose in both the extraordinary and the ordinary. And in that truth lies the enduring impact of a life that has touched so many, while still navigating its own path toward understanding balance and fulfillment.